You know
Oh,
what? This
we're
is
live already.
something good.
We're live already.
Wait, this is something here. Zoom privacy settings, desktop site, text share, downloads. Press that.
You can press that, but we're already live. I clicked the live button because you said fire away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fire
So
away. Yep,
so
fire away.
Brendan Taylor here, True School Sports. I got him back once again. The one and only. You can't clone him. Rick Glaser. What's good, Rick?
Not much, buddy. I'm glad you're out there enjoying Vegas. And a lot of things to do out there, especially if you like women, song and dance and gambling. There's a lot to do out there.
There's no shortage of things to do out here for that kind of
No,
stuff. Yeah,
no, that's for sure. If you got a vice, they'll find you in Vegas.
that's a fact. That's why you got to remain disciplined out here.
That's right. That's right. They're looking for guys. Believe me.
Yeah, I know. I know. But Rick, we got you here. I know you were really excited to talk about this today. This weekend we had a star-making performance of the highest order. Bam Rodriguez went in there and beat up on Rungviasi. He's cleared out damn near half of the half of the old guard at 115 now. What did you make of Bam?
I think he's great. I think he's a very weird combination of Joe Calzaghe, Paul Spadafora, with a guy that can punch. He's a much better puncher than those guys. He's a complete fighter. He's very mature. He's very ring. He's a ring general. He's slick. He's smart. His ring IQ is off the charts, and I think he's great. I just there's no stopping him. He'd be making a big mistake by going down in weight or up in weight right now. He just needs to clean out 115 and beat everybody at 115 and be unified champion, and everybody be happy with that. There's no sense of going down. You're tearing your body down. To make to lose those 3 pounds, and those guys are fast. Those 15 pounders are fast. Those 12 pounders are pretty fast. Sonny Edwards, all those guys are good on their feet and fast. He needs to stay at 15 and dominate 15, become unified champion. And then when Nui moves up and out, goes up to 22, maybe he goes to 18, something like that, or takes on the 18 pounders. You remember, everybody's going to want to fight him because he's going to be the money in the division. So he's going to be the Canelo of the little guys.
Or the
He's going to,
Cholatito, the next Cholatito?
well, yeah, the next Chocolatito, but he's going to be the guy. I mean, you can just see it. He's a brilliant guy in the ring. There's no negative. I can't see anything negative about him whatsoever. I mean, there's nothing that's negative. He knows when to box. He knows when to hold. He knows when to step in. He throws short, crisp punches. He knows when to go to the body. He's like everything he does is instinctual. It's not something that's planned out. He just knows what he's doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, he showed pretty much the whole skill set against Wembasai, from the double jab to the overhand left to the way he would tie him up and then spin off of him and get back to the center
Oh,
of the ring.
it
It's
was
kind of
it,
like
it was a
the old
master
school
class.
guys.
It was a master class. Like I said, it was Paul Spadafora and Calzaghe combined with punching power. I mean, that's really what it was. I mean, the guy is a complete fighter. I don't see anybody beating the guy, and for years to come, I just don't see it. I don't even think guys are going to get lucky because I don't think they can hit him twice in a row. And I
Yeah,
think he's just a special, special fighter. And we're lucky to have him today. These guys don't want to fight each other, and this guy just went out and picked out two of the top four guys in the division, whipped them, both of them, and now you're looking at a situation where he's going to probably fight, especially if it's Estrada. He's going to end up fighting Estrada because him and Chocolatito are real close, and their promoter is Mr. Honda Pekin Promotions, and he promotes both guys. So that may not happen. Okay, but if Estrada beats Chocolatito, then they're going to fight. Okay, and
yeah,
I just don't see Chocolatito being able to hang with this guy. I just think this guy is so special. He does nothing wrong. He just it's hair raising to see how great this fighter is. Not good, great is, and he's only 22 years old. It's amazing.
it is. It is. Rick, I'm gonna ask you straight away. Like, you got Devin Haney, T.O., and Shakur Stevenson and Ryan Garcia and all these kind of guys. Do you think Bam is the best young fighter in boxing today?
Bam and Shakur are the best two young fighters. Bam is a little ahead of Shakur, but that's not Shakur's fault. It's nothing to do with talent. It's just that he's got more willing combatants than in the Shakur's 130-pound weight class. I think you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the other guys aren't going to be dying to fight him. It's a little different, but you're talking about absolute greatness here. I mean, this guy here does nothing wrong. I mean, I'm I've seen a lot of fighters over the years. I've seen fighters come and go. I've seen all-time greats. I know guys that were supposed to be great flubbed out. This guy is absolutely sensational. Okay, I mean, this guy does nothing wrong. He's a ring general. He's in total command. He doesn't get hurt at all. He doesn't. I'll tell you something about young fighters. A lot of young fighters that hadn't fought any real challenging fights, they get in with the Estrada type.
Rungviasi, Quadras.
Yeah, Quadras, these top guys, and they get hit and they get a bad reaction. It doesn't mean their chin's bad, but they get hit to the body or the arm and they flinch. They do all kinds of wacky shit. This guy did nothing. This guy just a natural born fighter. And I'm not saying Robert Garcia is not a great trainer. He is, but this guy's absolutely special.
Yeah, he makes Robert Garcia's job a little bit easier with the talent level and his understanding for the sport at such a young age.
How about his dedication to train? You don't have to chase him down to train. He's just a complete fighter. He's an old school fighter with modern nuances. Which is the fast feet, slick in and out. He's just everything you'd want in a fighter. I mean, I can't see anything wrong with the guy. I don't see any flaws at all.
Yeah. Well, even like if you watch, I was watching some clips of him training. Like even the way he trains is a little bit different than a lot of these guys. Because a lot of these guys, when they go hit the double end bag, that's focusing on speed and whatnot. He's always working on keeping things very, very accurate and short, and more so technique than speed, which is something you don't always see with fighters in the gym. Even the ones that are talented.
You're 100% correct. But I'll tell you another thing about him that I really like. The moment's not too big for this guy. He didn't stand around for a couple rounds and feel the guy out. He went right to work. And he's just one of those type of guys. If I'm missing something, somebody tell me, but I just think he's a complete fighter. And nimble on its feet, beautiful blocking punches out of midair, slipping punches, rolling shoulder rolls. He just does it all. He's a complete fighter. And being left-handed and those slick and nimble feet, oh my God almighty.
Yeah, I mean, it was great, man. It was great. And I hope like Bam and what he's doing and the kind of attention he's getting will encourage some of the other young fighters or just fighters in general in boxing. Because like you mentioned it, right, on your Twitter, and I agree with your sentiments. Like, he's putting a lot of the older established fighters to shame, like the Charlos, even though I like them, the Andrades, the Tanks, the Munguias, the Benavidez's, these guys.
The reason there was a misunderstanding there, and all the LDBCers and Haymanites, and they're all yelling racism because they said I picked on 3 black fighters. Mm-hmm. The tweet says current longtime champions. Okay, Zorro is not a champion. Okay, Virgil Ortiz is not a champion right now. Munguia is not a champion. None of these guys are champs right now. Hold on, what does this guy say? Now, Rick, what does he say? What's he saying?
Well, no, because this guy Ray said Rick is a bona fide hater, and then Major Key corrected him by saying, "Nah, Rick is a bona fide straight shooter."
Yeah, exactly. I am a straight shooter. I'm not a hater. I just tell people like it is. I have no filter, and I'm not diplomatic. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you don't have a reason to.
Thank you, Major Key. Thank you, Major Key. But see, it goes like this. Okay. I put it in the tweet. It says specifically current longtime champions. None of those other guys they mentioned were champions. So they're mentioning all Mexicans and this guy, and then they mentioned Tyson Fury. What are you talking about? He beat Klitschko. He went off for a few years. He came back. He beat Wilder really 3 times, but let's say beat him twice, and there was a draw. That because I go by official results.
The Otto
And
Wallin winners aged well too.
what's that?
The Otto Wallin winners aged well too. Like
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because he's beating everybody else, and then he goes and knocks dead Dillian White with one punch. I mean, what does this guy got to do? I mean, why? Because he's a white guy. I mean, and the blacks don't like that he's he's a white world heavyweight champion. Come on, guys, let's be realistic. You brought your horse to the table, and the Americans brought their horse and Wilder, and you guys brought your horse, and the Britain knocked the shit out of him. The last time I looked, okay, Wilder was laid out on the deck, sprawled out, and you don't even hear Wilder wanting to fight again. You know,
he's going back and forth.
If I made the kind of money that he made, and I'm sure he saved a lot of it because I don't think he's a big spender, okay? And you could live in Alabama for peanuts. You can buy a wonderful home there for $500,000 and live happily ever after his money. I wouldn't lace up a pair of boxing gloves again. He's damaged goods. He ain't. You don't get the shit beat out of you for 19 rounds and get face planted. Okay, that's why he's never talked about fighting again. I think he's going to do one of those slow retirements where he's not going to announce a retirement. He's just not going to fight.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with him. But Rick, did you see Shakur Stevenson? He was saying that he believes in 2 years Bam could go up to 118 and beat the Monster. Now I don't think the Monster will be there in 2 years.
Well, yeah, you know what? I think Shakur's a great fighter. I think he's ring brilliant himself, but I'm not saying that this kid couldn't beat a Nui, but he ain't going to be there in 2 years. Now let's just take Bam with 2 years experience right now. Could he move up and beat him? Yes, he could. Yeah. Okay, with 2 years experience, he could. Yes, he could. He's got that style. He's so hard to figure out. He's in, out, and around. I mean. Yeah. He's just an amazing guy. Put it that way to you.
Okay. Major Key has a great comment here. He says, you can win a house in Alabama on a good night of poker.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you can buy a beautiful home for $500,000 there. I mean, a beautiful home, like spectacular, and like 5 acres and stuff like that. You know, which you can't do in my area, in Charleston, South Carolina, and Boca Raton, Florida, Davie, Florida, you can't do that.
No, you can't.
He can live really good. I'm sure the state income tax for Alabama is pretty low, and the guy could be a lifetime hero in his region. Stay there. He'd never have to buy a drink in a restaurant. I mean, I just think. Listen, I've never cared for him as a fighter. I thought he made some stupid comments over the years, but I want a body on my record and all that shit. But when it comes down to it, he's not a bad guy, and no. I think he should retire, and he should live happy ever after. What he should do is give back to the community a little bit, lend his name to go work with the city, the state, and the county, and go start a boys club with his name on it. Deontay Wilder Champions Gym or some friggin' thing that's sponsored by the state, the city, the county, and get everybody involved, him involved, lend his name, go there every day, give him a salary or something, but do something for the community and have the community do something for you.
No, absolutely. Box 210 Box TV says that Bam is going to be the pound for pound number 1, and he says he's blessed to cover him up close. I think he's got a great chance to go pound for pound number 1. He ain't, to be honest with you, I really don't feel like he's too far off right now the way he's going. 2 or 3 more fights, he might be there.
He's in the top 5 right now. He really is.
Oh wow! So you think you got him that high?
Oh yeah. This guy. To tell me something this guy does wrong. I like to hear from somebody that sees something that I'm not seeing.
I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I saw Bam fight live once when the Mikey Garcia fought Vargas on the.
I know, but he's supposed to win those fights.
I know. But like when the competition stepped up, he stepped up.
That's the point right there.
Yeah.
There's no moment too big for this kid. None. He could fight in front of 100,000 people at the Rose Bowl, and that he wouldn't be inundated by the crowd at all by the moment. He's just a natural born fighter.
I think you said it best. Well, the last time you were on here and I brought up Bam, you said he's got balls down to his ankles.
He does. I mean, the jump up from 108 to, he was fighting 110, but he was fighting, he's in the 108-pound weight class.
Yeah.
And to jump up at that opportunity on less than a month's notice, and go up all those weight classes and be quadras world champion. And now he said, you're not going to fight Rungviasi. Yes, I am. I'm fighting Rungviasi.
I did say that.
What the fuck?
I said, stay away from him. Don't do it, champ. And he said, I'm going right to him. And he didn't even lose a round against him. So I got to tip my cap.
I'll tell you another thing about him. He wears those little dweeb wire rimmed glasses when he was out of the ring. And he looks like the little kid next door. And then he gets in there and he's a stone killer. It's great. I mean, it's just, he's everything that you wish every fighter was. Let's put it that way to you.
Yeah, he's like I said in my video this morning about him. He truthfully is something that I think the boxing game has been missing, and it's refreshing. It's refreshing to see guys like Bam, even like Artur Beterbiev, these guys that don't really do a whole lot of talking. They're just down to fight whoever, wherever, and however, and they're stone cold killers. But outside the ring, they're the nicest guys you can meet.
Right. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm not relating it to Bam, but I'm going to tell you a very funny boxing story tonight. So back in 1991, I'm just getting going in boxing, and there was a amateur kid, and they brought this fighter in from Rochester, just got out of prison.
Yeah.
And the other guy was just built looked like a Holyfield, his body, his face, his head, and the other kid was a poor, pathetic suburban white kid. Well, this kid got drilled in the second round, laid out, right?
Yeah.
And at that night, the trainer says to me, his mother left with him from the amateur fights, and I went home with the trainer, and he turned to me, he says, "We're never going to see that poor kid again." He says he's going to quit boxing. The next day, I wasn't there, but the trainer comes up to the gym. And the trainer was like 10 minutes late to open up the gym. He got stuck in traffic and construction traffic. So the trainer looks at him and he says, "Brian, what are you doing here?" He says, "Where you been?" He says, "Open up this gym. I got a lot to learn after last night." So and then the kid ended up doing very well in boxing. His name was Brian LaSpada. He fought Nate Miller for the world cruiserweight title, got stopped on a cut in 1996 for the world title on Fox. And he was NABF champ. He was in the top 5 in all 4 organizations. And make a long story short, he was NABF champ, NABO champ, and he retired like 29-7. But here's a guy that we thought we'd never see again.
And he carved out a nice career for himself.
Yeah. And he sparred with Riddick Bowe and Jorge Luis Gonzalez. I was getting him 1,000 a week. And this is a white kid that looked like he couldn't spell fight. But the moral of the story is you never know what you got. Yeah. And that's with Bam. With those little dweeb glasses and stuff, and you just don't know what you have. I will tell you this. When those lights are shining, Bam is shining.
Shining is about as bright as anybody right now. But
right.
Moises Lopez, he's not quite buying into the Bam hype. He says, we need him to fight someone that's not already out the door. And then he went on also to say his team would not want him to get embarrassed against Cholatito.
This guy's not getting embarrassed by anyone. Get that out of Moises, get that out of your head. This guy's not getting embarrassed by anyone. This guy is as real as a heart attack.
Yeah, I love Roman Gonzalez. He's probably my favorite fighter ever, or one of them. I don't even think Cholatito would beat Bam. That's how much I think of Bam.
He's too smart and nimble on his feet. He's a natural born fighter. This guy's going to be very, very, very hard to beat by anybody. Anyway, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's that Japanese guy, Nakatani. I don't care who it is. Yeah. I don't care who it is. This guy can fight. This guy can flat out fight. What's this guy saying now?
They should put Bam on Canelo's undercard to get him some exposure.
Well, I agree with that. That's a brilliant comment, but he's not going to be able to fight. Well, wait, is it September? He could fight. Yeah, 100% he could fight.
Yeah, just get him. I mean, get him. You could get him like I know Bam probably won't want a soft touch because he don't strike me as that kind of guy.
No,
but I think
no. He don't. He's the kind of guy he wants to get up for a challenge, not down for one.
Yeah,
he's like the New York Yankees. Put it that way to you.
I got you. Yeah, shout out to the Yankees. I saw that Canelo and Golovkin were there today.
Yeah. The Yankees are down 5-1. They end up winning 9-5. They're animals.
Oh, they came back.
Oh yeah, of course.
My friend was following the game, and when I saw it, they were losing.
Unreal.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah, great stadium. I was just over there in New York.
Did you see that cute story about my friend who bought a house on Twitter? Did you see that little story?
No.
Oh, it's really funny. You'll like it. So, a friend of mine buys a house, and this other friend gets invited over to the house. He wants to show it to him. So he looks at the house. He says, and the house is a nice house, but it's nothing exciting. And he says to the guy, it's his dear friend. He goes, "You got to pay for this house? You got to make payments on this thing?" Right? He says, "No, I paid cash for it." He says, "Not only do you have good taste, but you're not good at finance either."
Just throwing his money around aimlessly, pissing it away.
Oh my God, the house is not a good looking house, that's for sure.
Where was the house at? Do you remember?
Right here in my neighborhood. Not too far from me.
Upstate New York.
Yeah. It's about a mile, maybe a mile and a half from me. Yeah, it's pretty real close here.
Okay. Anthony wants to know from you, Rick. Do you think that Bam fights like Ricardo Lopez?
Nah, not really. No, this guy. No, he boxed more traditional. This guy boxes like Calzaghe and Spadafora. But Benito Lopez was a great fighter and very technical, and I can see what he's saying, but he doesn't have that kind of style.
Yeah. No. When I watch a fight, I kind of see like a little bit of Lomachenko and a little bit of Cholatito.
Well, yeah. And what about Spadafora and Calzaghe?
No, that works too. That works too. Yeah. But for me, that's what I see first. Is Cholatito Loma.
You're younger than I am. You're in this generation. Spadafora, what's his name there? Calzaghe. Those guys, they knew how to fight. They know this. Don't forget, everybody forgets this. It's called the sweet science for a reason.
Yeah. Hit and not get hit.
Hit and not get hit. Yep. Exactly. No. Exactly.
Rick, do you think Bam is the front runner for Fighter of the Year right now?
I'm going to answer that yes and no. Yes, in the sense of accomplishments, but because he's a 115-pounder, they're going to talk about somebody else like Jermell Charlo becoming unified champion, Bivol beating Canelo, or Canelo maybe coming back and knocking out GGG or something like that. Or Shakur Stevenson, something like that. I don't think they're going to give the problem with American journalists, boxing journalists, they don't give 115 pounders, bantamweights and stuff the credit that they so deserve. And we've had a history of that.
Yeah, no, they really should though, because especially now, because the internet is a thing. You have access to all these fights, and these are the only weight classes where things are happening consistently. Like these guys, before we get a Crawford or Spence or any of these big fights, these guys already fought 2 or 3 times. I know it's because of the money and things like that. There's not as much money, so they gotta make the fights. But still, regardless, the fights are getting made. They're happening, and who's who.
Let me tell you it this way to you. There's no. I told Tom Law for this. I even put it on Twitter a week or so ago. If it wasn't for the last few years of HBO with the super flies, I would have canceled HBO.
Yeah.
Because the super flies were the big turn on for me as far as the quality of the fights. Everything else sucked. So there's your answer right there.
Yeah. Peter Nelson.
I'm a boxing purist. It don't matter what they weigh as long as they're in the same weight class.
Yeah, exactly. A great fight to me is a great fight. Period. I mean, obviously, like if you get two great heavyweights in a big fight, there's nothing that beats that. But a great fight is a great fight, no matter what weight class it's in.
Exactly. No
Yeah,
question about it.
yeah. Hey Rick, so someone asked earlier, and I guess I'll ask you now. What do you think of Mikey Garcia retiring, and what did you make of
I think
his career as a
I
whole?
put it up on Twitter tonight. It was the proper. He made the proper decision.
Yeah,
He didn't have the desire. He was way out of weight class. He was fat. He should be at 35, and he just wasn't. He never had the desire to fight. He wasn't a fighter down deep. You know what I'm saying? He did. It wasn't something he wanted to do. He just wanted to make money, and it was a way for him to make money. He didn't have the passion for it. Just a whole different mentality than a Bam Rodriguez, then a Canelo Alvarez. Some of
hmm
these guys really give Terrence Crawford, they give 1,000% of themselves.
Cholatito, these kind of guys. Yeah,
Chocolatito, yeah, and that's what makes guys greats compared to guys that were just era champions.
yeah, because he
You
had
know,
all the
I'll
talent
tell,
in the
I'll,
world, and it's like not enough fire
right.
in his belly.
I'll tell you what went under the rug the last couple of days. Sunday was the 50th anniversary of Roberto Duran stopping Ken Buchanan. So
It's a
that
great
went
fight.
under the carpet yesterday. And part of the reason it went under the carpet because it was a Sunday. People get with their families, they don't look shit up and stuff like that. But it was just the way it is.
Yeah, great fight though. That's one of my favorite Durant
Yep.
fights. Ken Buchanan.
Yep. No
Yeah,
question about it. No
yeah.
question about it.
El Jefe says, Mr. Glazer, what are your thoughts on the Uzbek fighter fighting the other unified champion? So he's talking about Merjan fighting Stephen Fulton.
I think that Fulton can win on foot speed and hand speed, but if this bastard catches up with him, this guy's going to be too strong for him and too tenacious. Until El Jefe, my last name is spelled Glaser. Z is the
Yeah,
Polish way to spell it.
yeah.
I'm German; it's with an S.
Yeah, Glazer's like like a glazed donut. I remember when I first met you years ago, I actually made that mistake, and you were like, "You spelled my name wrong," and I'm like, "My bad."
It's all right. Since lately you've seen it in print over the years more often than before. Now you'd really get it.
Yeah, well, to be
So
fair, I was like one of the first people to interview, so I had to be the guinea pig to mess up first.
when you interviewed me, I didn't even know what a podcast was. You had to tell me.
I had to tell him, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
and now you're like you're on a whole world tour. Everyone
Yeah,
want to talk to Rick.
I was on one right before you from 10:30 to 11:30. I don't know, one with Jeremy Williams called God Boxing or something like God
Jeremy
Boxing.
Jeremy Williams. I can't
Yeah,
say I heard of it.
the former heavyweight contender.
Yeah, but I never heard of the channel.
Okay, I don't know. I was on it, and they were very professional. They asked good questions.
Okay.
Not as good as you, but you're the king
Oh,
of good
oh,
questions.
thank you, Rick. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Guido says, ask Rick what he thinks of Robert Garcia wanting Bam Rodriguez to go down. And well, he just answered that earlier. He said he wanted him to stay 115, but I guess you could answer that again if you want, Rick.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's necessary. I think he should beat everybody at 115, clean the division out, and keep cleaning the division out until he's mature enough to go up to 118. There's no reason to go backwards. You're tearing your body down. You're set up for 15. Don't forget, the 12 pounders are a little faster than the 15 pounders. So
Yeah,
he may not have as big an edge. I'll tell you what, Sonny Edwards. I was at Sonny Edwards' fight in Dubai back in March.
yeah.
And he's a fast little prick himself. He's no joke himself.
One of the
He
best
can't
defensive
punch.
fighters in boxing today. But yeah, no pop.
No pop. It don't matter. The way he fights, he don't need
Mm,
pop. All he does is throw his hands out there and score points and keep moving. And you come to him, he slaps you 3 times and he moves aside and you chase him down. He's no joke. Him and him,
yeah.
him and him and him and Bam would be sensational.
Oh, I love
Because
that
he
fight.
can really box. Remember, he can really box, and even though that I think the Bam is flawless, I mean, if anybody's going to give Bam a problem, it's going to be a stylist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And this kid's a stylist. You know.
Yeah. Eh,
And I think Sonny's a great guy. I met him. I spent time with him in Dubai. He's a fantastic guy. We communicate on Twitter and stuff like that, and in the direct message or whatever what they call it, the inbox or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
He's a great guy. Nothing but respect for Sonny. Really
Well,
good guy.
I'm glad you're saying positive things about him because I say I mean I like Sonny Edwards and I say a lot of positive things about him. And people say, well, he's not good. He can't punch. You know, he would get beat by
Listen,
this guy and he get beat by
he's
that guy.
not.
I'm like,
That's jerk off shit.
yeah, it is.
No one's blowing Sonny Edwards out. He may lose to somebody, but nobody's blowing him out. And it's not because he can't punch either. He can fight his ass off. Okay,
Yeah,
and you know what? He's got the same ring IQ that Bam does, and the big balls and stuff like that. It's just it's a little different because of the fact that Sonny slips away from you, where the other guy turns you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Little different style, but they're
So
both really good fighters. Listen, if you told me that Sonny was fighting on a Friday night and Bam was fighting on a Sunday night in the same city, I would come in a day early just to see Sonny fight in person.
wow, that's high praise. That's high
Thank
praise.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm glad to hear it because I've been getting very frustrated with the Sonny Edwards slander because I truly believe he is one of the
Well, all
best.
the slanders involved is because he was with Daniel Kinahan, who was also my friend, and
Don't say that, Rick. They're coming after you now.
I'm fearless. Did you
Yeah,
see the birthday wish I sent him Saturday?
I did see that. I was like, oh man, I saw that. I
Did,
was like,
did you see? Did you see the thing about
I
the
didn't
in the
I didn't
Sun-
read the.
in the Sunday World? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that part. I just
I made the front page of the Sunday World. You know what the Sunday World is?
no.
It's the biggest tabloid in the UK and Ireland.
Oh
I made the
man,
cover. If you go Google it right now, you'll see me on the
no.
cover. Me and Kinahan with pictures right next to one another. But
The,
they said they screwed up the article. I don't know where they got their information. They called me a promoter, and I'm not. And they said I was Don King's matchmaker
hold
for forever, and that's not true either.
I want to show
So
the people. I actually found it, Rick. I want to show the people on the screen. So I'm gonna go to screen share. So look, so
that's
Rick's
not it.
talking. No,
That's not
right,
it.
right here, Sunday World.
Right.
Controversial boxing
Where's the
promoter.
picture? Where's the picture? Get to the picture.
I don't
I
know.
want to see myself.
I don't know if there is a picture, but
Yeah,
it
there was
says
a picture in the headlines.
what? Okay, well it says controversial boxing promoter Rick Glaser wishes mob boss Daniel Kinahan a happy birthday.
Okay, well, where's the picture? There was a picture of both of us standing there.
I don't know. I don't.
We'll go down further. I don't know. It was the headlines. Our picture was in the
Says,
headline.
I quote, I don't care about Kinahan's reputed backstory. I came into boxing being a racketeer and never committed a crime in 20 years. 29 years. I wish Daniel
That
that
was
same
2 years
success.
ago. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Well, there you have it. Rick Glaser out here stirring the pot, making big British tabloids, Irish
Yeah.
tabloids.
I don't know where the picture is. If you go to the Google, our picture's up there in the Google. Him and I's picture.
I don't know
You
why.
know.
I just wanted to show everybody what we were talking about.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, but let me see. El Jefe has a good question here for you, Rick. He says, Rick, why does Eddie Hearn not get the U.S. market? He has Canelo, but it's Canelo. Eddie Hearn has been able to deliver, hasn't been able to deliver a male undisputed fight. Only PBC and Top Rank have.
Because Eddie doesn't understand the American market, number one, and number two is he doesn't understand what it takes to sign up American fighters, the better ones. He went and tried to sign Broner and the Charlos, and everybody laughed at him, and his voice with the accent and stuff. Those guys are street guys. He's not signing up those kind of guys looking like a pretty boy from the UK with that UK accent, and Aaron talks their language. He knows how to talk to them, and so does Al Heyman. Obviously, he does, and so does Aaron and stuff. And that's where it's at. Eddie doesn't have any boxing guys around him. Eddie makes all the decisions. He's a micromanager. He's heavy-handed with where he does everything himself, or has minions that work for him that aren't boxing guys. It's just he's just throwing numbers against the wall and hopefully it sticks. There are no
Yeah.
You know, Top Rank has, Bruce Trampler, Brad Goodman. They got real boxing guys.
Yeah.
Heyman doesn't have any
That's-
boxing guys around him, that he can trust.
Here,
So
Rick, how many? So, like, out of all the promotional companies, how many would you say actually have legitimate boxing guys around them? Because it doesn't. It seems like a lot of the big promotional companies don't even have legitimate boxing staff, people who know what they're doing.
um
I know Golden Boy has like Roberto Diaz. I don't know what your take on him as a
he's,
matchmaker, but you got
he's all right. He's not bad. you know, uh Frank Warren's got one guy, Steve Furness, real good. Um, Mr. Honda's got, and it's Tekken Promotions in
that's
Japan's
right.
got what's his name, Tatiko Zabala. He's real good.
Zabala.
Um,
Okay.
Tico
Yeah,
Zabala.
is he? I was gonna ask. He's related to Tuto Zabala, right, from All Star Boxing.
That's the same guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they call him Tatiko. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, I mean, Heyman doesn't really have anybody. Let's put it that way to you. That's
Yeah.
the difference. Um, Golden Boy's got Diaz. He's all right. Robert's all right.
Hmm.
Top Rank's got you got Brad, Bruce and Brad. Bruce Trampler, Brad. I'm trying to think
How
the other
about
guy.
Probellum? How about Probellum?
Pro Bellum's got a couple boxing guys. They got Mike Altamira from Australia. They got Sam Jones in England. They got, and
Yep.
I work.
Yeah.
I don't work for them, but I do a lot of business with them, and they can always ask me. Put it that way to you. I'm good to them, and they're good to me.
Okay, yeah, because I've had my questions about Pro Bowling because I know like Richard Shaver's involved in it, and Richard Shaver tried Ring Star Sports and it didn't work out. And I was always wondering like, is Pro Bowling going to be like a Ring Star Sports 2.0?
Uh, no, too many brain surgeons involved. They got Harrison Whitman, who used to be the in-house attorney and the business development guy, executive. Business development guy there. They've got Anthony Cantanzaro. He was the former manager of Paulie Malinagi's career.
Mm.
They got some good guys. Pro
Yeah.
Bellums, they know what they're doing. They got
Okay.
Mike Altamira. And like I said, they can always call me. I do a lot of business with them. They're great people. I've nothing but respect for all of them.
Okay. Marlon wants to know from you, Rick. What are your thoughts on Jaron Ennis?
He can fight his ass off. He's a sizable middleweight. He's got welterweight, junior welterweight hand speed. He's got power of a middleweight, and he's very big. And he judges range and distance very well. And he's going to have unless he's got some kind of flaw like a bad chin, because we haven't seen him get hit yet, or he's got some kind of character flaw where he doesn't have any heart, and when going gets rough, he gets tagged and he falls apart because we haven't seen him get hit. And I'm not saying those two things are wrong with him, but those are the two things that are left. And looks like the real deal to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in Philly recently. I had a chance to watch him do a little bit of sparring and, kind of get a feel for him and his dad and how they are like in their day-to-day lives in the gym. And it seems like they are what people say they are. And I was talking to his dad, Bosty, and Bosty Ennis was saying that, Boots is a better switch hitter than Crawford. I wanted to pick your brain. What do you think about like Ennis as a switch hitter in comparison to Terrence Crawford?
Until he fights the top guys, like Terrence has been fighting for an awful long time, I give Terrence a very big edge right now. But that doesn't mean that Boots can't be that guy. It's just that he hasn't fought those top fighters to say that yet.
Yeah, and with the way it's looking, it might be a little bit of time because the division can't really move the way it needs to move until Crawford and Spence do what they got to do, fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. But don't forget one thing, everybody. If Crawford decides not to fight Spence, there's not enough money, or he doesn't get the rematch clause or whatever, Spence has got to fight Ennis because that mandatory is due in the IBF.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if not, he's got to give up the title. So that's an awful lot of leverage for Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, so if we don't get that's a great point because if we don't get Crawford versus Spence, which by the way I know you tweeted about it a number of times and I'm pretty vocal about it myself. It's like doesn't really seem like we're much closer to Crawford versus Spence today than we were a week ago.
No, we're not. It's all horseshit. It's all happy horseshit. Do I think they're heading in the right direction? Yeah, but Spence hasn't sent Crawford a contract. Why would Spence doesn't? If Spence is a fighter, he's not sending anybody a contract. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, these guys have teams and things that handle the business for them.
Ask Marlon. He's got another question. He's still got the same question up. We've answered that one already. Tell him to ask another question.
Which one? The Mikey Garcia one or which one?
No, Marlon. He's got the Ennis question up.
Yeah, I tell you, I left it on the screen. Okay. Marlon also wants to know from you, what are your thoughts on Dave Benavidez and who would you like to see him fight next?
Well, my thoughts are that he's not a controllable guy. He failed weight one time. One time he lost his title. One time he failed because of cocaine in his system. And I think he's an unruly guy. I think he's a very good fighter, and I think he should knock out and get rid of Plant next.
Yeah, because Caleb Plant's been running his mouth. He said yesterday, Dave Benavidez and Jamal Charlo, they can't fuck with me.
No, listen. David Benavidez will walk him down like he doesn't even exist.
I hope we get it because like them two were supposed. I thought those two should have fought in early 2020 when right after Caleb beat Feiga Boots before Canelo was even a thing. I think they should have unified titles, but PBC they want to marinate and overcook and now their careers are like heading nowhere quickly. I mean, Plant made his money against Canelo, but Benavidez he just been fighting these 54 and 60 pounders, talking about he's the Mexican monster.
Who David Benavidez?
Yeah, like he's been fighting like Kyron Davis and David Lemieux and Ronald Ellis, these 60 pounders. And
please. Oh my God. Come on. He's tailor made for Canelo. He walked right to Canelo. He's tailor made. Canelo had problems with people because he's a mover and a big guy and a mover. This guy's not a mover.
Yeah, so you think
Canelo right in Canelo's wheelhouse?
That's what I'm saying. Like I've been telling everybody because they say, oh, but before Big beat Canelo, they were like, I just don't see anybody beating Benavidez beating Canelo except Benavidez. And I'm like, really? I mean, I feel like he's going to be there with the high guard and
Canelo's just too. He'll be getting under that high guard with those wicked hooks to the body. He'll be left standing in front of Canelo.
The uppercuts, the counter uppercuts. Oh my God. People gonna find out real quick that while Benavidez is very very good young talent, he's not who they thought he was.
Rick, what do you know about Bam was with? No, he's still with Tekin Promotions. Eddie's done a deal with Mr. Honda who owns Tekin Promotions to be on. He's still with them. He's still they're still his promoter.
Yeah, that's more of like a U.S. television deal, right? Just with the Zone and Matchroom, right?
Well, listen, Eddie's using the fighter. Listen, nobody steals a fighter from Mr. Honda. Trust me.
Yeah, and you've read a lot of. I mean, you've dealt with Mr. Honda a lot, right? Or no?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit, yeah. Sparring partners and years ago an opponent through a mutual associate of ours. But I know Mr. Honda. Mr. Honda knows me.
What's Mr. Honda like? Because he's like the Al Heyman of Japan. We don't really know much about him.
No, he's legitimate. He's a very nice, very high class guy. His word is his bond. You don't need a contract. I mean, legally you need a contract, but you whatever he tells you, he's putting in the contract. That's what's there. There's no surprises. He's a very, very, very high class guy. He's in the Boxing Hall of Fame. For a long time now. He's just everything about him is aces. There's nothing. Yeah. There's no negativity. He's the Bam Rodriguez of boxing promoters.
Oh wow. Okay, so that we know that type of praise. What you got? Dundada says Bam is 2 big fights away from being a Hall of Famer.
Well, wow. Wait, hold on. He's 22 years old, but he's out of. Look, come on, guys. I'm a Hall of Fame elector myself. I'm a voter. I think he's right in a certain sense where if he cleans out the division and 2 more fights, he can really clean out the division. that's really true. But he's 22 fucking. He just turned 22. People got to slow down yet.
He might. I mean, I know it's gonna sound crazy saying this, but Salvador Sanchez died at 23. He's 22. If he beats Guy with Chocolatito.
I know. It's the famous. What was it? Buddy Holly, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and Jimi Hendrix and Jim Morrison all died at age 27.
Yeah, be
And
like
Janis Joplin. Yeah.
it's like the Tupac of boxing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And at 27, come back and see me in 5 years, and I'll put in my vote probably by then. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Box Ego wants to know. He says, "Have you ever worked with Lee Baxter Promotions?"
He don't pay. He's like Prime. He don't pay people. No, I don't work with him. He always owes people money. He stiffs people.
Oh
He
man.
tells people it's American money. It's Canadian, and he just fucks everybody over. And he can't get away with that with me. Trust me. So I don't
Damn.
even bother working with a guy like that.
That's dirty. He says well, he'll pay you in American money and then he pays you Canadian.
No, he puts money on the contract. He says, no, that's American for you, and it's actually Canadian.
That's
He
horrible.
does that all the time with Americans. He's a terrible guy.
Okay.
He's a fraud.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Anthony Mazzano says, Mr. Glaser, a question about Bam Rodriguez. In your honest opinion, what is his max weight going to be? For me, I think it's either 126 or 122.
20. I think 22.
Yeah.
I don't think he goes up to 26. That's a big jump. Remember something, guys. He was supposed to be 108. She took the opportunity at 115. It's going to take him a while to grow into 118.
Yeah, it'll be quite a long. Yeah, that would be a massive jump. 126. That's like 18 pounds.
No, that's too much. The 122 is going to be his max weight that he'll be a world champion at. Now, I'm not saying he can't win a vacant title at 126, but he won't be Bam at that weight.
No.
Did you hear what Steve Kim called him today?
I saw one of his tweets. I forgot what he said though. What
Bam
do you call him?
Antonio instead of San Antonio.
Bam Antonio. There you go. Bam. I like it. Bam Antonio.
Yep.
He's gonna be the biggest thing in San Antonio since Tim Duncan.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, Rick.
I wrote he's bigger than the Riverwalk already.
That's true. Hey, but the Riverwalk is beautiful. I love the Riverwalk.
I'll tell you something really weird. You ready? Every time people say to me, "Oh, have you ever gone to San Antonio?" Yeah. Oh, you on the river? Did you go to the Riverwalk? It's a big fucking deal. I live next to Niagara Falls. I don't even go 16 miles away. Who gives a fuck? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I'm a boxing guy. I'm not into Riverwalks and Niagara Falls and all that happy horse shit. Come on now.
You want to see some fights, some damn fights out here.
I want to see fights or money spread around. One of the two.
That's it. That's where the key to life: fights, and money spread around.
That's right.
Rick, a lot of people have been debating, and I think it's a stupid debate, but I wanted to ask you because you're more experienced in boxing than me. What do you think is the bigger fight between Crawford and Spence and Golovkin versus Canelo? The third fight.
Well, one of them they're making $85 million between them, and one of them they're going to make $30 million between them total at the most. Which one sounds bigger to you?
Canelo versus Golovkin. Canelo versus Golovkin. But when Eddie Hearn said that, and then like when I agree with it, people are like, "Are you serious? How could you say that?"
It's not even a comparison. First of all,
it's not. It really isn't.
One guy. The two fighters will get worldwide TV rights, where the other were and huge revenues. With the GGG and Canelo, and they're lucky to sell any foreign TV in that fight. Very, very lucky. Maybe they'll get the UK. But not for a lot of money.
Yeah, because I don't understand why people can't get it through their heads. Like just because it's a bigger fight in terms of money doesn't mean it's a better fight or more. It just revenue.
No. Let's go to revenues. The one with the revenues is the bigger fight.
Yeah. Do you think Crawford Spence is even the top 3 biggest fights revenue wise? Because I even question like out of all the fights that can be made in boxing, I'm not even sure it cracks the top 3. What do you think? Because I think
what's the question?
the question is, do you think that Terrence Crawford and Spence is a top 3 as far as
No,
gates and revenue biggest fight in boxing?
no.
Because I
Not
don't.
even close. Not even close. First of all, anything to do with Fury, Usyk, and Joshua, it would be much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I just don't see. I don't see where they would be even number 3.
Yeah.
Canelo and GGG, and
I think Ryan Garcia versus Tank is a bigger fight.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're gonna get a lot of social media people and some interest from the public in that fight, from the general public. Yes, probably. Don't forget, Spence and Crawford are 2 diehard boxing fans fight. It's not a general sporting fans fight.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I agree, and I'm glad you said it because it was getting annoying. Bam Rodriguez is fighting the whole week, and all I'm hearing about is this comment that Eddie Hearn made about the fight being bigger than Crawford Spence. It was irritating.
Oh well, Eddie Hearn's irritating, so it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, yeah. Eddie Hearn, you know, I think Eddie Hearn really is better at television. Like, and there's no disrespect, but like he's better at television than he is at promoting. Because like I saw him doing he did like this Max Kellerman like face-to-face interview with Pulev and Chisora. I was watching it today. I'm like, man, he's better. He's better than this.
Let me ask you a question. Let's talk about this. Who the fuck wants to watch Chisora and Pulev? That's like there's A sides, there's B sides, and there's C sides. There are 2 C sides fighting each other. The fuck?
Yeah, I don't want to see it, but I'm just saying
time out. Who asked for that fight? Tell me who asked for that fight. Did you ask for that fight? Because I didn't ask for that fight.
I didn't ask. I love heavyweight boxing, but I didn't ask for that fight. No.
Right. I don't know anybody that asked for that shit. Come on now. Let's talk reasonable here.
No, I know.
He puts on shit that nobody wants to see.
What I was trying to say though is when he was being the like Max Kellerman or whatever, I thought he did a great job. I think he's great television, Eddie Hearn. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, he's great television. He talks well and stuff like that. But let's talk about reality. Who wants to watch Pulev? And that's like I said, that's the seaside.
Yeah, I didn't even want to watch. I didn't want to watch the fight the first time it happened.
That's
to be honest with you. Why are we getting it a second time? Like this is like, to me, this is like the European Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin. You know, that's what this is to me.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And America didn't want to see that fight.
No, I was there. Unfortunately, I was there. So I know
25,000 pay-per-view buys on premium Fox at $39 at regular on Fox with all that advertising. It was $39.95 to fight, and nobody watched it. It should have been on regular Fox for free.
For free.
They're trying to McGaff us with that fight.
That's why you gotta really give Bob Arum a lot of credit. You know, he has Joe Smith Jr. Arthur Beterbiev on free ESPN. It's like
hold on. What about Shakur and Oscar Valdez?
That too. No, that too. That fight as well. I was just thinking of Beterbiev Smith because it was more recent.
And let me tell you one thing: if Terrence Crawford versus Porter wouldn't have been a mandatory, would he had to pay Porter $4 million? Okay, and Crawford knew it, and he got 6 because he was a 60-40 purse split. Guess what? That would have been on free ESPN.
Would have done much better ratings too, no doubt about it.
No, it did 148,000 buys. That's not bad. It actually,
it's not great. Good. Yeah, it's not great either. It's not great.
No,
140.
No, but it's not bad. It was barely a pay-per-view fight. That's what I called it. Barely a pay-per-view fight. You know? If it wouldn't have been a mandatory, it wouldn't have been a pay-per-view fight, and Arum wouldn't have done it as a pay-per-view fight. Remember, they fed off the fact that it was a mandatory.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Chase says Robert Garcia was also signed by Tekken for his first fight back in the day. See, I didn't know that.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So the Tekken relationship with Bam and Robert Garcia and all these guys, it goes back. It's deep. It's deeper than I thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I think I got through almost all my questions already, man. Let me see. Oh no, I didn't. Rick, what do you think about Mark Moxai versus Ray Vargas in a couple weeks?
Great fight. A lot of fun. Good fight. Worth tuning in for. Showtime doesn't put on too many fights that I really want to see, but that's one I want to see. Good fight.
Yeah, because I know Mark Moxai. He's coming off that majority decision win over Gary Russell Jr. Now, I feel like both these guys got a lot to prove. Like, because Ray Vargas, even though he's been winning his fights, he hasn't necessarily lit the world on fire. And then Mark Moxai, he beat a good fighter on Gary Russell Jr., but the one arm thing kind of took away from.
It's bad that you're a Mexican fighter in Ray what's his name, Ray Vargas.
Vargas, yeah.
And Golden Boy didn't care if they lost him or not. So there's part of your answer.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Freaking Ray Vargas.
That's not a good sign.
No, it's not at all. Rick, how familiar are you with Andy Cruz, the Cuban, the gold medalist?
Well, I'm familiar enough to tell you he's a very good fighter. He was a gold medal Olympian. He beat Keyshawn. He's a good fighter.
Yeah, because apparently now he's defecting to America, and he's supposed to be here in Vegas anytime now.
What, with Top Rank?
I don't know who he's signing with. From what I've heard is that he's supposed to be he's supposed to get to Las Vegas sometime in the near future and start training like Ismael Salas.
Oh, that's good. It's better than Virgil Hunter.
Oh man, we almost got through an hour without picking on Virgil Hunter. Man, Virgil Hunter. Josh, I'm telling you right now, Josh Boatsy, if he somehow becomes world champion with Virgil Hunter, Rick, I know you got a Hall of Fame vote. You better give it to Joshua Boatsy off rip, because he to become world champion when you had that many fights under Virgil Hunter, that's special right there.
Well, if he becomes world champion, it'll be despite Virgil Hunter, not because of.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Come on, you're slowing down. You got to ask more questions. You got 17 minutes to go. Come on.
Okay. Hi, Box Ego asks, and with the
$1.99. Is that all you're coming up with? Oh my!
Yeah.
Ego. Come on. Now.
Well, at least I could buy the Pro Box after a month.
Time out. My man here drinks premium beer. They're $8 a piece. You're coming up with that. What do you want him to buy? 25% of a beer? Come on now, Box Ego.
I could use that for 1 month of the Pro Box promotions at the Pro Box TV app, which is $1.99 a month. So there you go. But he says,
talking about the guy. I've heard of the guy, but I don't know him.
Okay, Dalaki. Yeah, he's a WBA 112 champion.
I've heard of him, and I know he exists, but I don't know really anything about him. And I should. I should, but I don't.
Okay, there you go. Honest questions, honest answers from Rick. And we got people. I don't know what it is. Like, we can't get through one line without somebody asking you about Lou DiBella. People love to ask you about Lou DiBella.
Well, who's asking me now?
Someone said, Rick, during your career, did you ever work or cross paths with Lou DiBella?
Yeah, that's why he owes me money, that scumbag.
What do you call him? The scum-sucking pig?
The scum-sucking pig. It's a beautiful name for him. Matter of fact, everybody, it's really caught on because everybody behind his back calls him the scum-sucking pig. You know what I mean? So it's really that name really caught on. So it's really good. Lou's a horrible human being. I'll leave it like that.
Damn. Okay.
Horrible.
Guido wants to know from you, Rick, what did you think about Reese Ramirez's performance against Abraham Nova a couple weeks back?
Fantastic. He was unlike other Cubans. He was aggressive. He walked Abraham Nova down. Left-handed power punchers are rare, and he looked like he looked like a real seasoned pro, and he looks like a future world champion, unless there's a character flaw or chin problem.
Yeah, it seems like, I don't know what it is, but like it seems like some of these Cuban fighters, like Rabisi, David Morrell, Yolovas Gomez, it seems like the Cuban fighters are starting to fight in a more aggressive fashion. The ones that are coming up. Well,
they have to, because they realize that they can't sell tickets if they don't.
Yeah.
The prior two generations of those fighters that come over, those Cubans, were unexciting, boring, and people would puke. So I think that these guys are trying to show, hey, we're not like that. We're different. Come watch us, and they're really doing their best.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys, like the ones I mentioned, they're delivering some great performances, and they're doing. They're flying the flag really high for Cuban boxing.
No
Anthony,
no question about it.
Oh no, I asked that already. Bam, 210 Box TV says Bam is a mix of Orlando Canizales and Chiquita Gonzalez. What do you think about
Nah,
that? No,
no, not at all. Not completely different. He's like a cross between Paul Spadafora and Joe Calzaghe.
there you go. Vox Ego asks again, Rick Glaser, what do you think of Luis de Cuba Senior? Apparently, he was a promoter.
Louis, you know, Louis all right. I like Louis Senior. Louis Junior leaves a lot to be desired. I actually like Senior. Um, he's more likable than I like him more than I would want to do business with him. Put it
That
that way
makes
to you.
sense. That makes sense. Yeah, because there's a lot of people in life that I'm sure you like, but you never do real business with them. So it makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
He's tight. He's got his head up Heyman's ass so far, it engulfs his neck. So that's not really my style. I don't kiss anybody's ass.
Yeah. Dundada says it seems like Top Rank has the best fighters in the world. Oh, shit.
It doesn't seem like they do.
Well, they don't. As a collective, they do, but they don't got Bam
No,
right now.
no, they could have had Bam, and they didn't take it. They didn't take it. They didn't think he was going to mean this much, but that's their mistake. They've made mistakes before.
Yeah, nobody's perfect. No promotional company, no matter how good the staff
Right.
is, the matchmaking is perfect.
Correct.
Yeah. So shout out to Bobby McCroy, the coach of Rais Salim. Shout out to him. Shout out to Bobby. Rick, what are the things that Edgar Balanga has to work on?
Oh my God! You have a legal pad and a pen? I'll need a legal pad and a backup pen.
Yeah. Five.
Listen, I really like Edgar as a person. I think he's excitement. I think he brings good karma to the game, but he really needs to get back to basics. His manager and I, Keith Conley, are very close. We actually have a fighter together. And to be honest with you, he needs to get back to basics. He got the 6 month suspension for the bite. It's a funny thing, they called it a bite. It was not a bite. He attempted to bite him, but he missed. Okay, so he's not even good at biting. I'm kidding. That's a joke. But and the truth of the matter is, during his 6 month suspension, he's got to go back to the basics, and he's got to learn to move his hand, his feet, and his head together. There's nothing that's lined up to where his hands, feet, and head are moving. It's like a discombobulation.
Yeah.
And I think that's hurting him a lot.
Yeah, it just seems like he's going through one big identity crisis, and he's really feeling the pressure.
Crisis, no confidence, lost his confidence, a little bit of everything. That knockdown hurt him, not in this last fight, but I think the fight before, whatever. That knockdown hurt him mentally. The no knockouts in recent fights. Putting what's his name down 3 times, Damone Nicholson, and not be able to stop him. I think it's a combination of a lot of things.
Yeah, and the pressure of being dubbed the next Puerto Rican superstar. That's a lot. That's a lot to carry on you.
Yeah, and no question about it. There's not even a question about that. I mean, Puerto Rico and New York, Puerto Ricans from New York, they're boxing crazy, and they want the next superstar. But he's a star, but I don't think he's a great fighter.
Yeah, he can be a great attraction, but yeah, I think as far as him being a great fighter, that's right. It's a dream. It's a dream, damn near. Right. It's a dream.
Right.
Brock's Ego asks, what happened to Golden Boy producing top welterweights like Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Earl Spence? They produce shit like Virgil Ortiz. Why do they only focus on Mexican fighters?
Well, first of all, is your comment about Virgil Ortiz being shit.
Yeah,
he would destroy Keith Thurman and Sean Porter, and Virgil Ortiz and Earl Spence. I don't know who would win. So I don't agree with you calling Virgil Ortiz shit. That's for starters. Why? Because Heyman was involved. Heyman brought those guys over to Golden Boy originally. Then he stole them back, and
Mm-hmm.
they're in an area in L.A., Southern California, and Arizona where they do shows that people come out to watch Mexican fighters and Mexican American fighters, and they don't come out to see African American fighters in those part of the country. Now in
Yeah.
Washington,
Or any
D.C.,
other fighters.
well, any other fighter, right? Washington D.C. They will in Chicago, Detroit, New York, New Jersey, Atlantic City. They
Atlanta.
will Atlanta, right? But
Atlanta,
they
yeah.
will not. Not in Southern California and Arizona. That ain't happening.
Nah, because those are basically extensions of
No,
Mexico.
matter of
So
fact, if you go to a fight card in Southern California, you see what they serve you for beverage and food. It's Corona and Modelo,
Modelo, yep.
and it's tacos and burritos,
That's
and
right.
nachos with cheese and jalapenos. Okay, so there's your answer right there.
Yeah, nah, I can validate everything Rick's saying going to cars in Southern California and Texas. But
What
Bobby,
happens with Usyk and AJ? I don't think it's going to be really any different. First of all, I think Robert Garcia is a great trainer, a great guy. I'm honored to know. I'm honored that he even knows my name. I think he's a top trainer. When it comes down to Hall of Fame voting for trainers, I want to vote for him. There's no
that's right.
question. But here's the thing: Robert's great with little guys, and little guys throw a lot to the body. That's what he teaches. And heavyweights don't throw to the body. And I think it's a mix of the wrong styles for AJ to take on Robert Garcia as a trainer. Even
Yeah.
though I think he'll learn things from Robert, but I don't think Robert's full effectiveness will work with AJ.
Okay. Yeah. Because
Okay, where if Golovkin was training with Robert Garcia, I think he would improve him and show him things that he could do that improve his game. Where I don't think those things will cross over to AJ. What do you think of that? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think like I just think Anthony Joshua, like in some ways, is kind of going through a little bit of what Balanga is going through. He's going through an identity crisis, and I think once Usyk hits him with the first pivot, sharp straight left hand down the middle, he'll revert back to type. That's what I think.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Guido says, I think Xander Zaya is looking more serious to become the next Puerto Rican star.
Well, let's hope so.
I hope so, man.
He's a nice kid. He's good looking. He's a nice kid. He can fight. Unless there's some kind of character flaw or chin problem, he looks like a capable guy to become the superstar that the great fight fans of Puerto Rico and the United States based people of Puerto Rican descent. I think that he could be the great next star. Well, he's got a bigger shot right now being an 8-round fighter than the Balanga does having being a 10-round fighter.
Damn.
Becoming a star. So there you go.
And on top of that, he's one of South Florida's very own. So I got to root for him. Got to go with South Florida.
Oh yeah, no question about it.
Yeah. Box Ego says, when I meant shit like Virgil, I meant people who have personality, because Virgil doesn't have personality compared to those guys. Yeah, Virgil's not much of a talker.
That may be true, but you made it sound like that he was a shit as a fighter.
No,
but
he's definitely not that.
He doesn't have he doesn't have charisma. That's what he's talking about. It's true, but he can flat out fight.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay. Box Eagle, you better come up with some more money than $1.99.
Yeah. Hey, you better start. Hey, Boxy Ego or anybody else, hey, y'all better run it up. Because Rick Glaser.
What about? I mean, come on. You guys ever heard of inflation? For Christ's sake, come on.
Yeah, man. Look what's going on. We got the gas prices going crazy. You know, everything's going crazy in this country. Everything.
There used to be a place in my neighborhood, 3 tacos for $1.99. Now it's 3 tacos for $2.49. That happened in 1 month. Okay, so we won't know till after the fight if Robert Garcia is a good fit for it. Well, that's true, but he doesn't seem to be a good fit. That's for sure.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have been by choice, even though he's a great trainer. So there you go.
There you go. Oh, We got a super chat. So we can shout out to my guy Josh
$5.
11 with the five. No, that's like €5. So
Yeah.
you're
You think the Paul Crover's Mercantile decision was corrupt? No, it wasn't corrupt. It was just stupidity.
Yeah, I thought Marquise Taylor won that fight.
Yeah, he
No,
was close, but he I thought he won, but it was close. It could have been a draw, but yeah, he probably won, but it wasn't corruption.
no.
You guys, corruption's used too often. Incompetence is the proper wording.
Yeah, I'm not.
Stupidity.
I see a lot of incompetence on some of these like smaller cards. You know, like Showbox, even like
Right.
on Probox TV, the fight between Axel Vega
Yeah,
and
Angelina,
Angelina Cordova.
I called it a draw. To be honest
Oh,
with you,
did you? Okay.
I called it a draw. Yeah,
Yeah, I
the other
thought I
guy did
thought
some good boxing. No, other guy boxed off the ropes good. He was getting Axel Vega was getting hit with a lot of punches. I called the main event 115-113 for the champ.
Jonathan Gonzalez.
I thought he won close. I thought it was a very good fight. I was gonna tell you what, they put on some great shows so far. To be
They
honest
have.
with you.
I mean, look, they've set such a high standard. I thought that show was. I thought that show was a solid show, but it wasn't as good as the other ones. But it was still good. Like it was still good. You had
Right. No,
you had.
let's put it this way to you. Okay, it's $1.99 a month or $18 a year. My fucking wife just paid $19. Not my fucking wife. My wife just paid for a fucking Caesar salad. $19 for a Caesar salad. Then they wanted to know. Wait, I saw it was 19 on the menu. Then he said, "Would you like some salmon or shrimp in there, or chicken or steak?"
Oh
I
man!
said,
So now it's in
"Hey,
the 20s.
$19? Are you out of your mind? It's expensive enough." They wanted $5 extra for the anchovies, and I said, "Honey, do you want anchovies?" She says, "No." I says, "Good, thank you for saving me $5 plus tax and a tip." So there's your answer right there. $18 a year for boxing programming. That's real good fights, and one Caesar salad was $19. So there you go. There's your
Great,
answer.
great value for money. Rick, did you see the kid Najee Lopez on the card?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's good.
What do you think of
If
him?
he gets down to 175, he'll be a very good light heavyweight. As a cruiserweight, he's a little small, but yeah, he's a good fighter. He's
Yeah,
good. He's like 4-0, 5-0. He's good.
yeah,
I like him.
Because I'm very high on him because I remember I saw him 3 years ago when his brother Hakeem fought on the card as well, and his dad, who's no longer here, they came to Stacy's gym like 3 years ago, and he was doing some sparring. He sparred a couple guys. He sparred Charlie Bryan, and he sparred a couple guys. He looked great. You know, did his thing.
Yep. Yeah, they're good fighters, those two brothers. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Boxing is coming again with the $1.99 super chat. He wants to know from you, Rick, have you worked with Kathy Duva?
I worked with main events with I booked some fighters, and years ago with Lou Duva, I booked some sparring partners. But with them, but I've never worked with her directly. She knows me, I know her, but not my cup of tea.
I got you. I fully understand. Cali Game says, why all the Mexican hate? When do we hate on Mexican fighters? We literally started the show off talking about Bam Rodriguez and giving him all the flowers in the world.
I don't think this guy is foolish enough to think that we were saying it.
Yeah, okay. Maybe it's somebody in the chat, but he also goes by saying Puerto Rican culture is toxic to Puerto Rican fighters. I think great Puerto Rican fighters should move out west because there's more of a structured approach to boxing. And you've always that kind of goes hand in hand with what you say, Rick, like about the East Coast versus the West Coast.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
he's right.
Yeah, because I mean, I always said like the Puerto Rican fighters from the island and even like the ones from New York, like. I mean, apart from Jonathan Gonzalez, because he's an outlier right now, but the Puerto Rican fighters from the island in New York City, like they're not getting it done. The ones that are the only hopes left are the ones from South Florida,
right?
Like Xander Zayas. Even though he lost, I thought he won. Luis Melendez, he fought Eduardo Ramirez on the tank. Really on the card.
He's all right. Yeah, he's no great shake.
Yeah, nothing special. You think?
No.
Okay.
No. You told me he was fighting across the street, and I was eating my dessert. And somebody told me the fight's about to start. I says, "Please, my dessert is more important than the
fight." What dessert were you eating when it happened?
Yeah, key lime pie.
Okay.
No, I'm just giving you a hypothetical in reality. You know what
I
I'm
know,
saying? So
I know.
come on now,
Uh,
ask me some more. What was this guy? Thoughts on Blair Cobb? He's a
uh.
fucking joke. Fucking fraud. Please. Please.
I like Blair Cobbs, even though he's not that good, but I like Blair Cobbs. I think he's funny.
Yeah. Anybody that thought that highly of himself is comical. You're right about that. No question.
Because you know what it is. I grew up loving wrestling, so he reminds me of like a lot of my favorite wrestlers growing up. Bringing
Yeah,
it to boxing.
he looks like the wild man from Pompeii.
I remember, but I give him this. I remember he after the Jaron Ennis fight with Delorme. I remember that night at the in Las Vegas. He went right up to Jaron Ennis. He wanted to fight him. Thank God they didn't give him what he wanted.
Jesus Christ! Talk about a public lynching.
even Boots don't talk a lot. Boots is like, you better have the casket ready. What color do you want your casket?
Yeah, everybody that knows Boots personally says he's a nice kid. Just to
Extremely
let you know.
nice, extremely nice. Like, I mean, I met him. I had a chance to interview him and basically I talked to him quite a lot that day. Nicest guy in the world. Like he's the kind of guy.
Do you know a fight guy in Philadelphia, Mike Melvin?
I don't know.
No,
I mean this. No, I don't.
Okay. He's a really classy guy. He's probably now, I don't know, maybe 47, 48 years old. Real classy guy. Malik, you know Malik Shogun?
Malik. I don't. No, I've never really gone to Philly. This time when I'm gonna go see Boots, it was my first time in Philly, so I'm sure I'm gonna cross paths with all these people at some point when I go to Philly more often.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we got another super chat. Any thoughts on this weekend's fights? We got Joe Joyce versus Christian Hammer, Jason Cunningham versus Lonnie Tate, Marius Breedis versus a dude no one has seen in Jai Opataya. Do you have any thoughts on any of those fights, Rick?
Yeah, Joe Joyce destroys Christian Hammer. Destroys him. Jason Cunningham, Tete. I don't know how shot Tete is. So, Jason Cunningham should win. But I guess Tete should be in the back nine, but who knows? I don't know. And the other one, Breedis, Breedis will win.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I like the Jason Cunningham Tete fight because I know Jason Cunningham, when he won the European title, he beat Calify's brother Gamal. That was a great performance for him.
Yeah, no, he's a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. And the other guy, I think Tete's in the back nine.
Yeah. Is he in the clubhouse?
Should be. Probably should be.
Okay, we'll get our answer. And as far as Joe Joyce versus Christian Hammer, Joe Joyce is gonna walk right through Christian Hammer, and if he don't, then Joe Joyce ain't who I thought he was.
No, he will.
Because anybody who's creme de la creme, top shelf, is walking through. Even guys who aren't, they're walking through Christian Hammer. So. That's what it is. But Rick,
you gotta have minimums of $5 from now on. None of these $1.99 shit.
I mean, no. This is €5. So this is even like we need to. If you're American, we're talking about we need the $10 joint. We need the $10 super chats plus.
Well, whatever. But the $1.99 is embarrassing. Come on, now. Boxing ego. Come on now. What kind of ego can you have giving $1.99 out?
Jaron Morgan says, "What's going on, young brother? I'm just tuning in. LOL, I had to grab a Canelo exposed shirt for my fiance. LOL. I hear Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez coming up soon. Who do you think wins that fight?" I think Danny should.
Danny Garcia, easy.
Danny should win that fight because Jose Benavidez. They both turned pro at 140. Jose Benavidez is a one-legged fighter. Jose Benavidez lost his last fight. Really, he was lucky to get out of there.
Yeah, he shot. It was over a year. He's shot. He's really shot. Yeah. Garcia will be is too polished for him.
Yeah, I mean that fight is a showcase fight for Danny Garcia to look good and drum up some interest for a Tony Harrison, Jamel Charlo fight. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Yeah. Hey Rick, what have you heard about Teofimo Lopez and Pedro Campo? I've heard that they're supposed to fight in August in South Florida. Have you heard anything about that through the grapevine?
I don't think it's going to be in South Florida.
No, it's going to be where? Vegas?
I have no idea, but I just don't see it being in South Florida in hurricane season in the middle of hot summer.
Yeah.
You talk about bad timing. What the fuck? You want something worse than that? Why don't
No,
they
I
just
love.
have it? Why don't they just have it in Louisiana or Mississippi? Jesus
Yeah,
Christ!
yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm not in South Florida right now, which is rare because I love South Florida, but it's been depressing.
Yeah. Well, what can I tell you? You know.
Yeah. Rick,
Okay.
is Klitschko not the promoter of K2 Promotions? I thought it was Tom Loeffler. And then it's this guy named Alexander Krasiak,
Right.
who is the promoter of K2.
That's the guy. Yeah, Loeffler's not with them anymore. Loeffler
Okay.
has his own thing going.
Yeah, he's
That's
got
true.
360
He's correct.
Promotions.
He's correct.
Okay, yeah, because I know Tom has 360 Promotions, which I've watched a
Right.
couple of their cards. He's actually put on some pretty good cards from the ones I've seen.
Listen, Tom's a quality guy. I like Tom.
Yeah, great guy.
Mhm.
Rick, I think I pretty much got everything I wanted to get through, and we see we got Chase. We see I'm picking Tio I'm picking Tate to prove he's still in the mix. Lanky for the weight depends if he's in his country. I'm not even sure where they're fighting. I think they might be in the UK for that one, so don't quote me.
It's in the UK. It's in the UK.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Rick, I want to wrap it up, man. You got any final message to the boxing world?
Yeah, my Twitter handle is at real Rick Glaser 1 GLASER. Forget that Z shit, and that they got me on here, and it's at real Rick Glaser 1. I got 4,500 followers, and I answer all boxing questions, hard ones, easy ones, any ones in between. Occasional bad joke up there I put, funny story.
Always, yep.
But a lot of good boxing stuff, and I think that our man here will tell us, Brendan, that I got some good boxing shit up, right?
He does, yeah. Rick's always posting very informative things about boxing, whether it be stuff going now, historical stuff, sometimes news, and he's always going to give you shoot it to you straight from the hip. And that's what we always appreciate about Rick, and that's why for the last 3-4 years, however long it's been bringing Rick back here a lot. So.
Yeah, I tell like it is. Yeah, real quick, I'll tell everybody a funny story. So this is going back a couple years ago. My mother says, we went over to my sister's house for dinner, and my mother had made this a couple dishes, but I didn't know which one she made. It was one of those things where everybody sort of brought a couple things, and my mother says, "How's the vegetable lasagna?" I says, "Terrible." I says, "Stick to brisket."
Yeah.
My mother couldn't handle it. She got really upset. I said, "Mom, if you knew, I tell the truth. Why would you ask? You couldn't have just told me it was good?" I says, "No, I don't want to ruin my reputation."
That's right, because reputation will get you everywhere in life.
Exactly, good, bad, or different, right?
Absolutely.
So I'll let you guys go. You guys, you have a wonderful evening. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. And Box Ego, you got to come up with more than $1.99, please.
That's it.
Please. Someday Brandon's going to have kids. He's got to put them through college.
That's right.
Okay, and he ain't doing much with $1.99. It's 25% of a premium beer.
So you got to do better than that.
I'll let you go, Brendan. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. Okay. You have a wonderful time. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye now.
All right, Rick. Take care. All right. So there you have it. Rick Glaser, the one and only. It's always fun to have him on the channel. I've been listen. A lot of these channels they started interviewing Rick Glaser a little bit after me. I've been interviewing. I was like one of the first people to interview Rick, and that's why I feel like every time we do an interview, we have great synergy, and it's always fun talking to him and chopping it up about the latest and greatest things going on in boxing. So, yeah, man, really good time talking to him. Make sure you guys go follow Rick at Real Rick Glaser 1 on Twitter. As far as True School Sports, I mean, look, we got. I'm working on getting some more guests for the show. Talking to a couple people, so we should have something this week. So stay tuned for that. We're always gonna put out that world-class boxing content and give you that world-class boxing talk, good, bad, or indifferent. And just keeps pulling the channel because we're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. We should have a live fight reaction this week with Joe Joyce and Christian Hammer. As well as Marius Bridas and Jai Opatai, whatever his name is. So I'll probably go live twice on Saturday. Get a couple guests in between that, sprinkle in some interviews, continue to keep the True School Sports Untouchable Empire going. Jesus M asks, when is the next live? The next live will be tomorrow. I'm not sure if it'll be an interview and I'm not sure if it'll just be me. We'll figure all that. We'll figure out the logistics of all that tomorrow. But we will be live tomorrow at some point. Definitely tune in. Definitely check out any videos you may have missed on the channel, because I put out a lot of videos this month. A lot of world-class content has been pumped out in the great name of boxing in this month. So definitely go check out all that. It's all love to everybody who watches. It's all love to the boxing fans, and it's all love to the fighters. So you guys take care. Have a blessed night. Make sure you guys live a joyful life and don't take anything for granted. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just kidding from Daniel. So until next time, take care.